Good evening. I'll call this meeting to order of the Park and Recreation Committee. Good evening to anybody out there. We have a quorum, so we'll move right along with our business. And everybody had a chance to read the minutes of the March 3rd meeting? Kevin so graciously took care of for us. I appreciate that. Always we have people. Yeah. So do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second. Any questions or concerns about the minutes? If so, we'll approve them as read. Okay, the next order of business is to just discuss the expiring terms of two of our commissioners, and Jeremy and Laura. If you wish to continue, as we'd like, you do go through the application process. I think Shelley said you've done an email or.
I was going to say,
It's
both
an
you
online-
received my email?
I think so, yeah.
It's an online process, and there's, if you want to continue, if there's anybody out there that's looking to join the commission, you're welcome to submit an application. And the terms expire on the 30th. I'm sure that the applications are probably due
The 30th of June?
Yeah.
June 30th are the terms ending. Applications probably before the city council meeting before that time.
Not sure if I have that with me. Last meeting I did have that timeline. And I don't know if I have it with me or not.
See that, we'll come up with that before the end of the meeting, but sure, you can go to North Liberty website and look on there for it, commissions, and it will guide you to that one as well as others in the city, if they're looking for a membership. So we'll move right along, and Guy's on first tonight.
All right. Good evening, everyone. It's been kind of a slow start to the spring. This weather is really can't wait for it to turn around. That's for sure. We're trying to do what we can get the ball fields ready, and we're getting a little bit of fertilizer and seed down, just trying to get ahead of that, and putting pre-emergent down on our landscaping beds. But anyway. We've performed a few building maintenance tasks this past month. We did have a parking lot light issue where they were blinking, and we found the problem. However, there are two lights that are doing it again, so I think it all extends back to underground wiring got hit last fall when they were doing some asphalt work up there. So anyway, working through that issue. We did do a comprehensive survey of all of our trails. For any kind of hazards, we're going to prioritize them now. I bet there's a couple hundred pictures of areas of various degree of deterioration that we're going to have to go through and fix. Winter it's really tough on them this year for some reason, but that's something we're going to work on over summer. We're going to do the ones that we can repair. Probably hire out the ones that need more major repairs. So. But yes, we got over all that. That took some time, and that's now done. We did have to remove snow on March 7th. Hopefully that's done because we have taken all of our snow equipment off just to get ready for the spring. But anyway, hope it's done for the season.
Only flurries.
Yeah. We did disassemble and remove the ice skating rink from the tennis and pickleball courts. The courts are now open for tennis and pickleball users to enjoy for the season. I don't know, have you been up there at all playing the pickleball?
No.
No, not yet. Okay. But anyway, it's back open for tennis and pickleball. We did some training. It seems like we do training every month on certain topics. Had a lot of meetings, so I'll just go through them. March 3rd, I attended the Community Center Facility Planning Kickoff Meeting with rec staff and Shive Hattery. This comprehensive plan will help identify present and future problems as well as to determine future projects. This will ultimately help with Shelley and Community Center budget planning. That was kind of a big one.
Yeah.
So as that building ages, it's going to take a lot more, planning. March 4th, I attended the Run Crandake. It's a run that's coming through North Liberty on April 24th. Just to kind of, we have to do traffic control, and there's a lot of other things that go along with that run. Our main goal is for us in the Parks Department is to make sure our trails are halfway decent condition before they make that run. March 7th, met with Charlie Colwell of RDG Consulting regarding the City Comprehensive Master Plan. That's ongoing right now. On my side, we talked about what works and what hasn't worked for our parks. And then ultimately just to see possibly where future parks might go or what we might want to see with parks. March 8th, we met with Hodge Construction and Axiom Consultants. This is at Liberty Center Pond, and it's the future site of the Field Day Brewery that's going to go in over there. So that development stormwater is supposed to go to Liberty Center Pond, and we just met with them to make sure that we could limit the amount of damage it's going to cause Liberty Center. So we were just trying to determine which route we wanted to go with the stormwater.
As
So that's
far
gonna-
as the construction or just when they're actually like move in?
No,
The water itself,
the
like when
water
it comes
ex-
down.
the pipe from their parking lot and
Okay.
water runoff has to go somewhere, and it's going to be piped to Liberty Center. So we're just trying to determine where we want to go with that pipe to have less damage to Liberty Center.
And that'd be coming from the northwest, right?
Yes. Yep.
Into
mhm,
the Liberty Center.
Yep.
And what's the name of the new building that's gonna be there? The
Back.
Backwater Pocket?
Yeah. Back.
Pocket.
Fieldhouse Brewery.
Fieldhouse Brewery. I'm sorry.
Fieldhouse
Yep.
Brewery.
Fieldhouse Brewery.
When is that going to be completed? Do you know?
I'm not sure, but I just know that the stormwater is going to be happening really soon. So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
More interested in the beer, but you know, in the stormwater, but I know you gotta take care of business.
Flowing water, not flowing beer. So
Wrong meeting.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. On March 9th, also met with Shive Hattery and staff to review plans for upcoming community center roof replacement project, which we've had bid openings today. So Shelley might get a little more into that. On March 16th, met with Shive Hattery and contractors to review the Rancho Way pedestrian tunnel with wall samples. They're like sprockets. You probably see in the pictures that if you look at the report. These will be on the walls leading up to the tunnel. So we just wanted to take a look at them. They had samples. We just wanted to make sure they looked okay. So and that's going to take place this summer. Hopefully that tunnel will be in operating order sometime soon in the near future. March 22nd, we attended the Blues and Barbecue kickoff meeting along with city staff and volunteer committee members. We haven't had Blues and Barbecue for a couple years now, so we're just gonna have to get back in the grind of it again and have a few new committee members, a few that are returning, which is good. But yes, Blues Barbecue is going to be held on July 9th this year, so definitely looking forward to that. March 23rd, we assisted the Iowa Department of Natural Resource Fishery Management Team with the releasing 2,000 rainbow trout at Liberty Center. We do this spring and fall when the water temperatures are still cold because trout have to have cold water. But what it does, it gives, people who fish trout, it gives them an opportunity to fish trout locally. So you don't have to go and find like a trout stream. It's a great program. We get a lot of fishermen here that utilize that program. March,
Buys everything like that brings people to town to
Yeah.
restaurants and gas stations and everything else.
yeah.
Does that cost us, or is it?
It does not. It's just a program that the DNR does. What pays for this is when people go out and buy a trout stamp, a fishing license, those kind of funds. They promote these kind of programs. So
Is it only the Liberty Center pond that they stock?
yeah. We do that on purpose in a way because it's a very easy pond to fish. Children can fish it very easily. It's accessible. So yeah, we tend to use that pond. So this program came from, they used to do it up in Cedar Rapids, but they moved it down here instead. So, which I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
So the residents.
Remind people they do need a trout stamp. when
Yep.
they're
Yeah,
fishing for
all
trout.
DNR
Nice.
regulations are enforced, so, yeah. March 27th, park staff assisted with the ball field cleanup day, enhancement up at Penn Meadows Park, along with NLCBS. That's our town league for baseball, or I shouldn't say just baseball, ball leagues.
What day was that? Sorry.
That was March 27th. It was a Sunday. It was scheduled for that Saturday on the 26th, but it was really, really windy and terrible. And what we mostly happens is all those leaves that collect in the the fencing. It wasn't a very good day when it was windy.
up
So yeah, but I think we got maybe 3 dump truck loads of trash and leaves out of there. So very thankful for all the volunteer help, because that saves staff countless hours of time.
Was there a lot of help this year?
Yeah,
being on a
it's pretty
Sunday?
decent. Yeah, yeah. But we always rely on that as kind of a kickoff for the season, get the fields in order, and then we start having tournaments and practice and games. March 28th, I attended the first Dubuque Street Phase 1 progress meeting with Shive Hardy. That's the Dubuque Street up here by Naomi's Kitchen. That whole intersection is going to be torn out. It's going to be changed. Dubuque Street will no longer come in at a diagonal. It'll come in at a 90 for safety. But with that, the Babe Ruth parking lot is going to be completely taken out here soon. A new parking lot is going to be installed there. There's a lot going to be happening over in that area coming up this summer. Kind of the Rancho Way Improvements Projects season kickoff meeting. So it kind of was on hold because of winter, the 965, the improvements going on out here. So that started on April 1st. So that's underway. You'll probably see a lot of workers out there now, and progress starting to happen on the Highway 965 project. And then part of the Dubuque Street project, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around here. We had to remove the Legion flagpole at the Babe Ruth parking lot, because that's all going away. And we also had to remove the old town clock, the clock that was in right there off of Dubuque Street. That's gone right now. We're going to put that in mothballs for a while. We don't know what we're going to do with the clock. I'm going to have to get it rebuilt if we do take it somewhere. But the flagpole is going to be replaced by a new one. We were able to salvage the old one, but I think we're going to utilize that nice flagpole out at the dog park. I think that's where we're going to take that one. We've also begun aerating and fertilizing and seeding turf grass areas that are in need of maintenance. Fertilizer costs have about doubled. So we're probably going to have to determine which areas really need it and which areas don't. We're also looking into alternatives like organics, which we were looking into organics. I don't know if there are any cost savings there. We'll see, because normally before all this price hike, organics were always a little higher. So it might turn around and where organics might be cheaper. We'll see. Our sports field maintenance crew has now begun weekly field maintenance. Ball fields will be maintained on a daily basis, as well as our soccer. Soccer program starts up on the 22nd.
Yeah,
22nd.
yeah.
We've just been trying to get out there to line the fields, but we haven't had the weather to be able to do that. So as soon as we get some dry weather, we got a lot of things to get done. Been conducting seasonal employee interviewing. It's been very slow. We've interviewed 2. I've hired 2. They both look very good. So we've tried to hire. We're looking at hiring 12. We have 3 or 4 returning from last year. Yeah, returning from last year, which is great. So we still have probably 5 or 6 positions we need to fill. I'm hoping that once this things start to warm up and the college kids decided, I might need a job for summer, I might get some more applications. So
Gas prices going up.
yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Is there a minimum age?
We say 18 because of the equipment that has to be used, and driving vehicles and stuff like that. So
A lot of our students in the sports management program are right in the midst of determining their summer plans.
yep,
So you're probably going to start seeing
yeah,
some of that. So a lot of the due dates for internships and those kind of things are happening. So
yeah,
I would expect to see an influx soon.
right.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it kind of gets extended every year, just a little longer. And I have to wait. It's like
Right.
last year about this time, I should be getting a bunch of resumes in. It's just
Right.
Yeah, I just think it's a little delayed.
Yep.
You can see the pictures. The Parks Department built a new ball diamond surfacing machine. We basically copied the one that we have. We love it. We've had it for years and years and years. It's no longer commercially made, so we figured the best way here is to build it ourselves. So right now, and actually Tim is one. He did all the building, so he did a very good job. It's at the paint shop right now getting powder coated. So once it gets back, we're gonna assemble everything and put it to work. So
Cool.
we do have a new tractor on order. So we're keeping our old one, and we'll get a second tractor. So we'll have 2 drags. So on days that it rains all morning and we need to get fields done in the afternoon, we can jump on it and get them all done. And also we use that machine for doing small landscaping work, like grading before we get ready for sod and stuff. It works beautiful for that. So on days when, hey, I really need it to do some grading and they really need to do ball fields, we have 2 now. So yeah.
That's great.
And
Tim,
other than
are you
that,
going to start selling these, Tim? Or
yeah,
side job?
yeah, no kidding. No, you did
Yeah, but I think
fantastic
it-
job.
There's another thing, just shows how we put community activities first, and, we're accommodating everything that we can for
Yeah.
youth and people that use our parks.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't have this in my report, but the dog park, it's really looking bad. It's wet weather hasn't helped. I'd like to get some turf grass to grow out there, but we may have to start thinking about some alternative options. We've been kicking around maybe putting some mulch out there to maybe help. I mean, when you look at other dog parks in certain areas, I see mulch in there. It may be discussion we have at this level to start talking about it. It might be an agenda item if we want to convert some of that over to mulch. But until then, I'm getting some soil samples done. I need to see where we're at with the soils. Maybe there's something going on there that's not promoting good turf grass. But that was supposed to happen this week, but the weather has put that off. So hopefully next week we can get out there and get some soil sample tests. And I've been looking at the organics, maybe doing some organics out there, some biochar. Maybe that's what it needs. I don't know. We'll see. But I just want people to be patient. We're gonna try to work it to deter some of the unregistered people that use the park. We do have locks that we're gonna install. They're the mechanical kind of push. It's like a 4-digit push code. A click, 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 click. You can get in. If you register your dog, you'll get that code. We're hoping that will deter some of the people from the overuse from people that have not registered. But Angela from admin over here, she's the one who does all the pet registrations. She wanted me to wait and make it active until she gets it notified to everyone out with registrations that's what we're actually doing. So give them some time. But that's what's going on in the dog park. Hopefully we can maybe turn the tail of this and I don't know.
Guy, remind us:
around.
did grass just not ever grow in certain spots, or was it
Well-
overuse? Do we never get turf to grow?
Well,
in
we
some spots?
did.
Okay.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
And of course, we've had 2 summers of
Right.
very drought weather. I mean, very hot, dry weather.
Yep.
And it just killed it.
Yep.
Twice on us now. I don't know. It's just bad luck on weather.
Frustrating.
And now overuse doesn't help at all.
Yep.
So we're just gonna have to see. We're learning as we go on this one. So we may be talking about putting mulch. We have the mulch from when we had Duratio. We have plenty of mulch,
Plenty of mulch. Yeah.
to do it, but I just want to make sure that everybody's on board with that before we change that. So it'd probably be better than the mud that we have.
Yeah.
So
That would be something we'd look for advice, and
Yeah.
we'd do some research and advice out there if anybody has.
We'll see where it goes.
expertise And what's good for, if mulch is okay for
Yeah.
dogs and whatever, so
Better go turf.
we're trying.
I know.
Yeah.
Thought about it.
That's expensive too, but it seems like you're having issues with this.
Yeah. So, but saying that, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask of me, feel
Are
free.
you still planning on doing the creek cleanup this weekend?
Yes, you know, thank you.
Yeah.
That's scheduled for this Saturday. The Muddy Creek Cleanup Day is scheduled for the 9th, starting at 9 and normally gets over 11:30ish noon. Boy Scouts are on board, the Cub Scouts are on board, Tree and Stormwater Board members, we'll get a few of those, city staff, and we'll get a couple truckloads of junk out of the creek and stuff like that.
Where do we meet?
The rec center on the north side at the parking lot. I'll have 2 staff members there. It's just we just have so much for weekend duty stuff now. I have to kind of spread it out until I get more staff here.
Supposed to be dry on Saturday.
That's what I'm hearing, like 50-ish dry, yeah, so.
Because I had, the shedding activity isn't connected to, are you going to talk about that? Because somebody wants to know
I was-
exactly where that's located. I
For
don't
the
know
eggs,
exactly where.
I was gonna.
Deer
You're
shed.
gonna,
that,
you're
yeah.
gonna hit on
I mean,
that.
I can.
Well, you'll
start now
just
if
bring
you
it
want
out.
me to, or-
No, just bring it out. That was it. Yeah. That somebody has, exactly where it was. And I guess, I don't know. Any other questions for Guy? It's got-
Quick question for you, Guy, and I'm not sure
Sure.
if it's your team or whomever deals with the trash receptacles in the parks.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, would it be feasible to also offer recycling? I've noticed just being out there with our kids, just a lot of bottles and stuff in the trash. Is there those double recycling? Is that something that would be feasible to manage? I mean, I know that's another thing
Right,
you'd have to
right.
deal with, but is that something we could look into?
It's a good question, and I understand where we're going to.
I think
I'm
the-
not
I
sure
think
where-
I think the hardest part is the
Collection
recycling
and taking it.
it becomes trash.
Yeah.
Because people just throw
Yeah.
Right. you have-
whatever in whatever spot. They don't.
I feel like to be effective, it needs to be one of those that has the top with just like the circle, right? So it's not just an open thing, because
Yeah.
otherwise it's just
We have
Toss
things at the
whatever.
rec center where we have actual pictures on it, and people still
I
throw
know.
garbage in the
Yeah.
bottles.
it,
So
it just kills you when you look in the trash. Like, all these
It's a
water
tough
bottles,
one.
you're like,
You see
Oh,
1,000 water bottles,
Yeah.
pop bottles, and
yeah,
I
So
get it.
it's just something to put on your radar that
Yeah.
we thought of when we were out at the park when it was nice last couple weeks
Yeah.
ago.
That's a very good. It's a valid point.
Thank you.
something where everybody has to work together for
Yeah.
those situations.
I just didn't know as far as then you got to collect it, and then you got to get it to I don't know if it's
Recycling.
you got to get it to the
Yeah.
recycling side. It's just another thing. So
when you're probably gonna have to get the trash out of there first to get
right,
the
Yeah.
take it
Handpick
in. So.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. Something to think about and what type of solutions for that. Anything else?
I do have another question. The tunnel that is being built this summer,
Mhm.
does that have lights in it?
I believe so. Yeah, there'll be lights in it.
That's a good point.
Yes. Yep. It's actually just right out here.
Yeah, we're right across from it.
Yeah.
And looking forward to having another,
Yeah.
another outlet and in the future loan completed. And of course, you probably won't be repairing our trail north of Penn because we're going to get a new one, right?
That's right.
We'll live with what we got till
Yeah,
we
yeah.
get the new one up there. Okay. Thanks a lot, Guy.
You're welcome.
And Tim for building that and saving money and creating more, works for it. That's good to have skilled people on board. That, do
Our
good.
department enjoys doing projects like that, so it's fun.
That's good. That's good. Okay, well, we'll move on to Shelley with the rec report.
Basically, I consider March, we have our own March Madness, which was nice to see. We just saw more people using the facility, more inquiries on programs as, we start to get back to some normalcy. We did reopen the kids' campsite area, and that has been heavily used at the rec center. And then just drop-in use during spring break week was on the rise as well, just with kids out of school and all that. So we had our own little, March Madness with more activity, I'd say, within the facility. The Optimist Club had their pancake breakfast after a 2-year hiatus, so it was nice to have that program back within the community center. Working on a lot of outdoor building projects that I've talked about probably for months and months, it seems like, and feels like going on years and years of talking about them, but they continue. They resumed some of the work and then had to halt because of weather roller coaster. hopefully within a couple of weeks, the snow rails and the gas lines will be completed. And hopefully all the button down fixes of the roof are completed as well. And like Guy mentioned, we did have a bid opening for the roof replacement project coming up this summer. We had 9 bidders, which was good turnout
Yes.
of bids.
Surprising.
Yeah.
I've got that many
A
bidders.
lot of people said they were surprised at the number received, and actually they looked coming in lower than what Shive had predicted, and hopefully that will also work in our favor when it comes to insurance and what hopefully some of those costs are covered and not too much coming out of pocket. So we'll just see how it goes and have few more meetings coming up to wrap up current projects, and then with that one coming up, right now, the biggest thing is awarding it is coming up at the end of April at the city council meeting, and then the biggest discussion points are whoever's awarded it, do they have material in stock, or do they have to order in the time needed if they don't have the materials? So the latest I had heard was June, July-ish, maybe they would start on the roof replacement project, but we'll know more once who's awarded and how it's looking timeline wise.
I guess they're having problems with the fasteners, the screws that hold the membrane down, so very hard to find.
Crazy. Material.
Yeah.
Rec staff is assisting Ben and other part-time pool staff with pool operations while Ashley is on maternity leave, and so we're just preparing for the outdoor pool season. Ben's doing a great job. He was a pool manager that we promoted to our aquatics coordinator position. That's a permanent part-time position, and so he's done a great job of doing interviews and hiring and see who's coming back, and just with Ashley on maternity leave, taking care of a lot of things. So that has helped. The summer activity guide was completed in the month of March. And many planning meetings were attended during the month of March for summer activities, the city slate events, and just trying to program out the summer coming up. So that was great to plan ahead and actually bring back a lot of our programming opportunities. Brian and Matt Fielder went to the Iowa Parks and Recreation Association Conference in Dubuque and got some continued education and sharing of ideas with other professionals. So they attended that conference during this month. A lot of my other reports are just general basic information that I normally but give to you guys on a monthly basis. I don't know if there's anything that really jumps out. Again, I guess the one thing there you'll see under before and after school program, you'll see the amount of revenues taken in for the month of March was substantial. That is basically current Rexters that are in our current before and after school program. They have the month of March to register for summer camp and fall of next year, so they have 1 month ahead of time before we open up to open enrollment. So that's what a lot of that revenue was from current Rexter participants signing up. And then you'll see that next month's report is a lot of revenue taken in for open enrollment for those activities. Let's see, anything else really jumping out at me, or if you saw anything in the report that you had questions on. The rest of it's a lot of just general information. So I will open up to any questions you might have. I guess we did touch on talking about the take a kid outdoors shed hunt coming up, and that is Saturday as well. It's at Creekside Commons Park.
Mm-hmm.
People have asked me where that is.
That is the one.
Front Street
Way
down there
south from.
Instead of going to Van
Mandela.
Allen School, take
Yeah.
Creekside to the
Oh,
west,
oh,
and there's a
okay.
park back
Right,
in there.
right, okay.
Yeah.
Where a trail goes nowhere.
by. Yes,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
On one side of it,
Yep.
yeah.
Until that gets developed, it'll
Yeah.
probably
And
be dead end.
What
Okay.
time is it start? On the-
I just saw it.
Yeah,
I just thought too.
I just saw it. I don't remember. I almost think it was
Afternoon, 1 o'clock.
I
afternoon.
think it's
Yep,
1 to
1
3.
o'clock, 1 to
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
Yep.
1 to 3. Okay.
1 to 3. Yep.
Easter was in the
Yep.
morning.
Because the Bunny Clue Trail
That's right.
Yes.
walk is on Saturday as well, and that's kind of our Easter hunt change from years past, and that's going to be at Liberty Center from 10 to noon. So if you don't want to help out with all of them, you can start at 1 and just bing, 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 help with all 3 if you'd like. So
And wait, I'm sorry. What's the name of the Creekside Commons activity?
Takeo, it's called
What?
Takeo, take a kid outdoors.
Oh, take a
Like
kid.
taco, except with a K.
There you go.
Takeo.
Shed hunting.
Takeo. Okay.
Shed hunt.
Yeah,
All right.
deer sheds.
Funny. Okay.
So I did want to mention, yes, we have a busy weekend coming up, and I'm hoping the weather stays like it's planned.
Now, was there any registration for the Easter, the walk around?
No, that is a free
That's just
event
open.
at Liberty Center. No registration for that. Actually, that's the event on Saturday. We are in conjunction with, we call it our extravaganza events on Sunday. We are having a couple registered events. That's the underwater egg hunt in the indoor pool and egg coloring. But that one, again, you had to have pre-registration just because of how many people we can have in the indoor pool. So those got filled up, and we will be having that event on Sunday. So maybe I'll share a few pictures next month of those events.
Well, again, creative and unique, the Take a Kid Outdoors, they planned every month. I think this got postponed from March or whatever because of weather, didn't it? But those activities, the creative things, what's the slate of activities?
City Slate.
City
Yep.
slate. I think I saw Julie egging a house in our neighborhood. Or Sherry, I said Julie. Shelley.
Actually, maybe. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know, yeah, when
I
I
might have an idea.
say wrong names here, what I have on my mind, but Shelley, yeah, that was a lot of neat experiences going on in the community, and we're lucky to have staff and people that volunteer. We need volunteers and helpers, and Brian, somebody made a positive comment about all the equipment down upstairs, because you got, how long have you, I know you were getting some and you got everything
Everything's
put
in.
together
Yep,
and in?
everything's up there. Yeah. Yep. A lot of new stuff, and it all looks good, and there's a lot of it up there, and it's getting busier as we're getting busier at the rec, so it's a good deal up there. So,
That's good. Good for you.
and the city gives us X amount of money every year to, get rid of the old and get some new, so that's a positive thing too. So,
Questions for Shelley?
How are we doing on swim lessons? Is it still a wait situation, or are we've got spots available for swim lessons? You know, offhand, I'm just
It's always a hot commodity.
That's why I asked.
And
Yeah.
the
So
spots fill up fast.
Yep.
And then, yes, we do have people on wait lists.
Okay.
So that does continue.
the wait
Again,
lists are pretty long, especially in the
lengthy.
younger and the
Yeah.
private swim lessons, and because we were talking about it at the front with front desk staff yesterday, I think, and we're like, man, we could have another pool because
I
I
mean,
don't
told
know
my
if we have
husband
these.
to be on it at 8 a.m.
yeah.
I
right.
was like, you get him in because we've missed it multiple
Six.
times.
6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We had somebody come in and say, hey, I was on at 6:10 and it said they were full, and we're like, yeah, you got to get on at
Wow.
6
Oh, maybe he did get on it. That's right. He was on it. Okay. Anyway, he was on it. We got in.
Trying to get
It's just
season
like
tickets.
it was
Yeah.
Oh,
dang.
Yeah, it's
That's that.
oh, it's,
that
That's
popular.
a lot
Yeah.
of demand.
Yeah, a lot of demand.
Is it limited by staff and space, or both, or like is there possibilities of adding additional? I mean, is there not enough hours in the day? I'm just curious. What's the limitation on that?
Ashley will probably every year she evaluates.
Right.
Is there any chance we can add more? Right now, at this point, with her on maternity leave, and then
Right.
with just us looking at staffing of the outdoor pool in general, let alone the swim lessons. Again, actually, this session here in April, we had to combine a couple because we were short-staffed.
Yeah.
with instructors. So definitely that is a concern, is staffing does limit us what we can do. So
Okay.
that, and then again, I mean, we offer swim lessons year round.
Right.
And again, all of them usually max out.
Yeah, just trying to think, is there other ways to, you know?
I feel like it's just like a life need. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that till I had a child, but like this is like something that you have to do for just basic safety training. And there's, you know, so that's a huge market.
And the other thing that's big this year is we haven't really had them for like 2 years.
Right.
2
People
years.
haven't
Right, so
been
you're
Have
back-
we have like a
you're
backup of kids?
So
Back
now
up.
they're like they're
Yeah.
calling
Yeah,
and
it's-
Yep.
they're calling and they're like, well, what did they pass last time? And it's like
Right.
it was 2 years ago, you know.
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
Some have to go back, some have to go.
Start kind of almost start over depending
So
on
yeah,
age. Yeah.
it's, yeah, just when we thought maybe we were catching up, no, with
Wow.
the 2 years off, it just put us right
Do
back
you have
into a bind.
places that you direct parents to if you can't, you know, that are kind of desperate and on the wait list? Are there other like, do
Other cities, and then of course,
Adventures.
Adventures.
I know.
you know if the other cities are also at capacity? I'm assuming they are.
From my understanding, staffing is even a bigger
Staffing issue.
concern issue.
Mhm.
And then scheduling wise, you know, again, lessons right now take up 4 nights a week, because Tuesday and Thursday are privates. Monday, Wednesdays are group lessons. So we don't have
Yeah.
open swim or anything else in the evenings because of swim lessons. So trying to meet fitness classes,
Yeah.
lap swimmers, and swim lessons is a constant battle.
I have a question about the private though, because to me that seems like when you have such a demand, that maybe is that the best use of resources to have so many private classes when you could have more group classes, or how does that go? How are those decisions made?
Demand.
So it's just like people
a lot
really
of them want
Yeah.
one-on-one individual attention versus group lessons. They
It's just-
focus more when they're individual versus in the group. It's a little harder.
I'm sure.
So and there's a lot of factors that go into,
I'm
and
sure.
so and that's why we offer both. Just
Right.
we want that to offer both, but how can we? I mean, the biggest thing I would say as far as increasing in the future will be staffing, and how can we add more staff to maybe add more individuals. But
And
but we have to have the space also. to
Well,
do
that's
that.
what I think.
Yeah,
Both,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I mean, during the summer, are we doing day lessons?
Yes,
So then
yes,
you're adding that. So that's good. So there's
Yes.
there's additional
We have
opportunities there
weekends.
too.
We have weekend
weekends
lessons.
as well.
yeah.
So that's
So-
been added since I've been here. So I mean,
Right.
we're expanding as much as
Trying,
we can.
right? You're trying
Yeah.
to serve as best you can. I just was curious, you know, if there's
Because
if
then you
there's-
have lap swimmers and you have people that just want to swim
right,
that want to go in there too.
Right.
So it's,
No, you guys have a lot to juggle.
yeah, exactly.
you know, and then the school district, you know, the school district talks to me once in a while, like, hey, can we get in there and use it as a high school because they have to go to, you know, they want to have
Sure.
their own.
They want to do
so
their own deal. Yeah.
that's another thing that
You're like, we can't even serve our own needs. Like,
and
yeah.
the junior high uses our indoor pool also during their season when they use it. So yeah, it's
there's a lot of,
it's a juggling act of
No
trying
kidding.
to fit everything in there.
No
You
kidding.
know,
even on the dead times, that's what we give the schools or the junior
Right.
high is the dead times to get in their swimming. So yeah, it's a constant balance and juggle, I guess you would say, of a lot of different needs within the pool. So
'Cause I mean, the number of kids, I haven't seen the new census that said what the average age or how many children we had in the community. I know.
A lot.
I mean, this is where you go when you have a kid.
Last time it was 8.5 or
Joke.
something, you know, it was everybody tells me the average age in,
I mean,
you know,
my
North
company
Liberty's
is
10
in
years
North
old,
Liberty.
but,
We're pumping out babies.
I
left.
raised the age level, I guess. But, yeah, it's, you know, as the community keeps growing and moving forward, you know, and it's, because how many years is that pool and rec center? How many?
2004 is when the pools were added.
1997 is when the first part
Phase of
was.
the
So,
rec center.
Yeah,
so you're talking, it's
Jeez.
getting there, and that's why we're spending
Yeah.
a
right.
bunch of money on
lot of money
fixing
on
things.
building
and-
maintenance.
yeah,
Time to
Set
do
up
some
people.
things. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and the growth, and that's that thing that leads into the vision there. You want to talk a little bit more about that, Sean?
Yeah, I'm just keeping that on the agenda, just for everybody's knowledge. You know, that is happening right now throughout the whole city, is the whole community vision, and how not only board members but also community members can go to that website. There are a couple of workshops coming up this month
21st,
I was going to say.
April 21st.
21st, okay.
Go.
So a lot of opportunities again to help with the vision, you know, as we continue to grow and what direction are we moving in? So
Can you talk about that workshop and what is done there?
Richard.
Well,
Richard, do you want to take that one since or I can-
okay, what's the name of our group that's leading us through?
RDG?
RDG. They will be having, I think, 2 different times on the 21st, and it's more or less, it's kind of a drop, will be a drop-in where you can, you know, look at the, talk and look at things and give you, I don't know if they'll be doing the Post-its or whatever, doing, you know, what you'd like to see in the way of a vision. What's the future, you know? They're looking at 20 years down the road, you know? What's the future? How many swimming pools do we need? How many gymnasiums do we need? You know, what do we want in the way of outdoor rec facilities as well as community-wide? You know, where do you want, and a lot of it does relate to us, because where do you want parks, you know? Where would you like to see parks? What would you like to see in those parks? Where do you think what type of industry and business do you think we need in North Liberty? So it's just kind of, I don't know exactly what they'll be listening or whether there'll be ways of writing down what you want, but it's not going and sitting for a length of time or anything. You can just go in and out.
Cool.
At the library, right?
There's one at the library. I think the one during the day is at the library. The other one at night is on the rec center side.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 2 different offerings.
So I think it's like, is it 11 to 1? It's like over the lunch hour during the day, and then there's one at the evening, 5:30 or so in the evening. Everybody can go online and look all this up, and if you haven't gone, you just go to the North Liberty website, and I think the questionnaire, the survey will come right up on the front page, and I hope everybody here's taken that. But yeah, they're getting input from a lot of different people, and then there's a community advisory board that kind of sits and listens to what everybody's saying, and I don't know what the end result of that advisory board would be. It's just kind of to assimilate and talk about things. I'm on that, and there are other people, you know, in the community. So yeah, keep us. But yeah, it is. You know, like I say, as we look where you've been, where you are, and where you're going, you know, and people, if they don't listen to the meeting, they don't hear this about, we don't have enough, you know, we can't fulfill, you know, have swimming lessons for everybody. Of course, I lived in a river town for 30 years, and it was required that everybody have swimming. If you didn't have lessons, you took it at high school PE, you know, so that, so how much, you know, and it is, like somebody said, I think it is pretty much something that's accepted to of your enjoyment and safety and everything, you know how to swim. And so that's something that we look at. We keep looking at, you know, we have lots of dogs in this community, you know, we have lots of pickleball players, we have lots of, you know, and people speak up and say, you know, don't, it's not a complaining, it's saying, what would you like to see? You know, what do you want to see? And then, and they've talked about being in all these meetings and planning and, you know, and they know, sure, there's going to be some picking and choosing sometime, you know, financially, but a lot of things can happen as you see right now, what's going on right now. And that's going to continue. So that's the plug for that. So anything else?
No.
Everybody? This is opportunity for anything else to discuss or bring up? Well, it looks like we're due for the next one, May 5th. And Shelley's already planning to be gone, so we're going to grill Brian and Guy that night, I guess. So I'll entertain a motion for the meeting to adjourn.
I'll move that motion.
Okay, Jeremy, would somebody like to second?
I'll second.
Okay. Motion and second. Anybody object to unanimous consent? Meeting adjourned.